Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to NLC Division 2. We're on to our final game of the day. Guarp up against Domino. And Jamada, what do you make of these two teams? Because they're teams that, when I was doing my prep work and having a look at what's going on, they didn't catch my eye necessarily, but that really excites me to see what kind of surprises we're going to get from these two rosters.
Yeah, I mean, there was a fair amount of positive talk around Guap, especially when they came up and promoted into what do you call it?
Division 2
Division Two. I've been casting it all day. I don't know
is
how
the
I
show
forgot.
that we're working on right
It's the show
now.
that we're working on right now. When they promoted into Division Two, there was a fair amount of like positive talk around
Hmm.
Guap, especially sort of pertaining to their victory over Verdant as well, because it was a 3-0. Um, but opening day against Rising Dawn, who of course we just saw in their most recent win, didn't really look too great. Didn't really get to show off too much. So
Hmm.
to me, they're definitely a bit of an unquantified entity still inside of Division Two. So I'm kind of excited to see what they can at the very least do against Domino, who, I mean, realistically, kind of a similar situation. Their game was back and forth enough, but I would still like to see more from this Domino lineup.
Well, we're going to see what they're going to be drafting as we jump right into that one. Domino, of course. Some familiar names on the roster this time around. For Guap, some familiar names if you're familiar with the Guap brand. I don't know what a Guap is. Don't know what that means. But you know what? It's a good time for everyone concerned. Gangplank's the first one banned away. And it looks like we might be on for business as usual if that's going to be any indication of what the bans will be.
I wonder if Gwen will be banned for the first time today. I think it got banned on no second time.
Yeah.
So it's been like open a lot more than it should be. Whether or not we'll have that one banned will definitely be an interesting one. But Vigor Mopson, I really want to track how he does because yesterday, you know, Camille being left open, picking the Ornn into it was definitely a bit of a question mark to me. Are we going to see, a different side to this top laner? Is what I would like to see from Guap and across the board. Just maybe an easy to execute draft, something similar to what we had yesterday, so that we can get to see a little more of the side that honestly seemed to impress the community coming into the split.
And something that should just be noted as well, if you were tuning in on Tuesday, there have been a couple of changes to the Domino roster in terms of who's turning up to the Rift. You can see Sidon and Iron Coin Flip are both being substituted in, and we're seeing Porcupine and Zoophobia substituted out. We don't know the exact reasoning behind that, but of course, Sidon, close to my heart, the Sejuani player, the one that we have in the league, in both Div 1 and Div 2. Pulled that one up a couple of times last split. We'll see if he's going to be doing so today in his re-debut back into NLC Division 2. But the bans and, of course, Gwen was removed from the table. Misfortune actually going to be the priority.
I mean, Misfortune's still pretty decent on this patch. Talking about things like, the Muramana into Leandries,
Hmm.
that whole build path, still a thing, still very powerful. I would be interested to see whether or not Hellman and I'm Coin Flip just decide to Lucian Nami up, because that is still a duo which is up and available. Wukong Gwen, Talia was banned away. What's that sort of fourth champion amongst those that wasn't? It's the Lucian. But instead, we get a last second swap to sit on. Are we in Spring Split, apparently? For Domino. All right, so expect that to go into the jungle run. They hovered the Tristana for a very long time. It will be locked in. And that's Lucian and Nami being kind of looked over there. Definitely a bit of a curious one. Go up now. What will the options be? You see the most likely the jungler. Will we have anything in match for that from Guap?
Hear me out. Lucian, Nami, Mage Fortune mid. I'm just saying, you build Lianjalo. Hanivia, welcome to the Rift. Why are you here?
That's exactly my thought process. I, it, but what? Okay, all right. Guap, Flanco. Hear me out, brother. What happens when Domino decides to draft mobility for the rest of the draft? How does that one play out?
Bad times, I imagine.
Bad times
Yours
with
been locked in.
yeah.
Oh wait,
One,
they were trying to go for the legend comp from the new TFT set, and Nivea on Volibear said they'd
ah,
got it covered.
smart. So now I would like to see Spuda get his counter pick in now. I think, unless they really do value the mid lane picks, which apparently they will. I mean, Akali technically a flex, right, can go up into the top side, can match into this Anivia, but I feel like that lane is just going to absolutely suck. So I expect this one to go up to the top side if you're looking for lane comfortability, but hell, we'll see what happens. We've seen very strange things already happen today in the drafts in Div 2. Domino, what would they go for in the bans? They themselves haven't locked in the support, and for now, they don't really have a jungler, I suppose, yet. So Galen will have his champion pool stripped down just a touch. Graves taken off the table. Things like Viego also up and available if they want to go down that route too. And I think that will likely be the kind of angle that they're looking at. Guarp, however, don't have a support locked in, and neither do Domino. So the key role that they will likely want to remove away is going to be a bit of a difficult one to hit, but they will take away, at the very least, Nautilus. Domino still do need a little bit of hard engage to try and round out their comp.
Yeah, Karma going to be taken off the table. So the jungle pool is, there's a little bit of movement there potentially over on the side for Galen, for Guarp. Whether they'll go for something, I mean, I can even see someone like the Trundle maybe making an appearance just to be able to burn down that volley bear and give themselves something a little bit different. But it's going to be on Hellman to decide what is going to be locked in, where the counter pick is going to be, because the Akali, as you said, could technically be a flex, but don't.
I mean,
would
it's
suggest
it's
doing
not about
that.
don't. I mean, I just feel like it's gonna suck into Anivia. Put it into Ornn, it should have a much easier time, in my opinion. But we'll see what Domino want to do and how Sarah and Spuda would like to pilot out these lanes. As time ticks down, we'll get the Rakan. So there's that engage that we were looking for from the side of Domino. And how will Guap respond? They see the Rakan. In patches old, I would say, Leona probably is the no-brainer here. Thresh wouldn't be too bad, but I'd like to see more team fight based supports, whether it's something that's enchantery like this Yuumi, or whether it is that old school or spring split kind of counter here, as Thresh will be the answer.
Could
And
it be Tristana mid?
it could actually be Tristana mid and Akali top, yeah. There is
Because I mean,
still
you
the
said
opportunity for that.
the
Yep.
Zarya is still up and available if they wanted to go in that direction or something with a little bit more of pizzazz. Don't know if Lucian Rakan is necessarily a great lane. You're giving me some legs.
Terrible.
It's technically okay, but you probably don't do it when you've got other options available. But it looks like they're going to be going towards, the Udyr is going to be the option coming through. So a bit of a run back, a very quick run back if you're Udyr, as he's going to be locked in. And now we're going to see. Do you mind? Some of that. Everyone else
Well,
quite good.
last pick for Domino here. I mean, I'm expecting more mobility, more mobility to get around the Anivia. And there you go. We are actually going to have Tristana in the bottom lane and Camille to match this Ornn. Now, we've seen Viggo Mopson deal with the Ornn lane already into Vangstead. It went well initially until it didn't. Vangstead picked up 3 kills in a Herald skirmish, and from that point onwards, it was one-sided as heck. So let's see if Spuda can match the performance of Vangstead in lane, or whether or not Viggo Mopson can continue his dominance on the Ornn. At the very least, in the first sort of 10-ish minutes, as we didn't really get to see much else from him, but definitely a very interesting composition coming out from Guarp in particular. I think the order of which things were done, definitely a little bit mind-boggling, but Domino, I think, a composition that does, all have a fee, right? Everybody here is likely going to be looking to dive forward. And I think, realistically, Guap do have a pretty decent team composition at dealing with, those diving forward kind of champions. Anivia is going to be okay having champions come into her. It's about ensuring that she can be kept alive to deal her damage. I think when you're looking at divers, assassin targets, like the Akali, like the Camille, it's going to be hard to, kind of be self-sufficient in that regard. So I'm looking towards the Thresh, I'm looking towards the Udyr, Galen and Nugget to try and keep their mid laner alive once these team fights and skirmishes start kicking off.
Absolutely. And for those of you who want to play League of Legends achievements, like you get on your Xbox or whatever PlayStation has, your me achievements. I don't know if Nintendo does that. I'm not good at the video games. I want to see the Nivea put up a wall and then the Ornn knock someone up off it. That's what I want to see. So keep your eyes
Yeah.
peeled on that one, summoners. If you're going to be, looking for slightly fun interactions that aren't actually that fun. But we are moving into our final game of the day very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a tiny talk about the Anivia Akali, because we mentioned it was something that could happen. We were like, it's probably not the best optimal play for Domino here because it's not necessarily great, but we didn't really go into why that is. you want to quickly just let us know how you think this lane might look?
Yeah, so Anivia typically kind of beats on most melee matchups. In fact, I can't even bring to mind a melee matchup which is particularly, a good one for the side when you're for that side when you're into an Anivia. Sarah is gonna have to, sit here, Doran Shield, try their best to just farm up and get to a point where they can start to actually look for all-ins on the Anivia. And that's kind of my concern because looking into the game as we start to kick into it, Sarah, I beg your pardon, has bought Conqueror, so he's looking for the scaling, and isn't going to be walking out into lane with a Doran Shield either. So the poke is going to stick, and it's going to feel incredibly oppressive. Will, here we are, final game of the day.
The day for NLC Division 2. You can see it on the banner right there. It doesn't say Division 2 on it though, but that's fine. I'll graffiti on it later. We've got Guarp on the blue side. We've got Domino on the red side. Both these teams looking to find themselves a win in this matchup. One of them will be able to do so, but one of them will be going home empty-handed. And for Guarp, they're setting up in this river barrage, which is quite an uncommon first camp location. Zero needs to be a little bit careful though.
It's definitely really unconventional. I wonder if they're trying to just catch somebody out on that ward over the wall. It seems like now they will reveal themselves. Yeah, ward on the red buff, so have information on where Sidon is starting at stunt. It's going to go wide, won't connect onto Sarah. So no pre-lane poke will be had. Taking a step back, looking at the jungle matchup, Udyr, Volibear, one that we were very close to seeing quite commonly, right? They kind of, in the revolving door of the jungle mare, kind of run right before the other. Udyr left, Volibear walked in.
Well, we were talking about that with Shafty, weren't we? He was saying, yeah, I really like this meta because I'm not being forced to just play Udyr and Volibear. And final game of the day, it's Udyr versus Volibear. So maybe the other teams weren't so lucky.
Yeah, maybe not. So how I expect the jungle matchup to go is Sidon going to try and look for opportunities to find ganks in his lanes. I think he's honestly got decent lanes to look at, right? Camille into the Ornn. The setup should almost always be there towards the bottom side. Having the Rakan there as a means of, additionally kind of helping yourself to try and find some lockdown into the bottom lane will definitely feel pretty good. I think once you hit level 6, wouldn't it be when you can really try and skirmish around your Akali as well. So decent opportunities to find that. And looking towards Galen and saying, how are you gonna, use what should be an innate CS lead because you can farm so much quicker than the Volibear to build a lead, not only for yourself but for your laners as that Udyr, sort of the utility stun bot that he eventually turns into.
We just saw in the bot lane there, level 2 picked up by Guarp, but were unable to get anything going on that very small spike that you get just between you getting level 2 and the opposition, but keeping eyes and ears peeled for where these two junglers are going to pop up in the earliest stages. Both of them started on top side, full clear for the Udyr, Volibear leaving those Krugs. So it's a little bit slower. Is that something we expect Udyr just to be that very mic'd faster on the clear?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean, anytime I think of Udyr, I think back to two particular games. One is a slightly more known game. It was an El Yo-Yo game last year. I think it was right around spring or summer, early summer, where he just decided to pretty much close the Flame Horizon. His leg.
Oh, a little bit of a scrap. Everyone should be okay.
And then one you may be more familiar with, Will, though I don't actually think you were with me on the day, but it was UKLC, the final split of the UKLC, and I actually can't recall who the jungler was, but I just remember it was the Enclave jungler who, well, he was double CS, the enemy jungler throughout the entire game, and I think you can imagine how a double CS farmed up Udyr looks in Season 11. And he also got Cloud Soul, so it just didn't look great. And I'm expecting that kind of game here, right? Galen, full clear into Scarcrab on the bottom side. Sidon did 5 camps into reset. Probably won't pick up this top side skull. Actually, they're going to meet in the top side. And Sidon is the one with Smite. So maybe he should be the one picking up the Skullcrab as they will meet here. Skull going to drop below that threshold.
Oh, priority. From both sides. We actually see Smooth coming in for the top side, and it will be First Blood going over to the Camille as Quixie isn't quick enough on the draw.
Yeah, Quixie wasn't there. It's not really Nivea's fault, though. Galen moving into the river about lane priority.
Oh, Zero.
Oh, Zero.
Looking so healthy in the Shroud is thinking of a way out. Won't be able to fight. King gets the egg and now he's going to probably look for the kill onto the Anivia. Steps away because he decides he doesn't have the damage to do so. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, no energy, didn't have another 5-point strike. If he had it, it's definitely a solo kill, but decided the auto attacks wouldn't be enough. I mean, maybe underestimating his damage and how much time he had left. It's a hard call, honestly. I'm not sure whether or not other Akali players would have stuck it. I mean, cooldowns, right? Maybe Quixie wouldn't have had the cooldowns available. He would have. Zero makes the call to back away, doesn't try and flip it. Or just go back to base, pick up a blasting one, and look towards his next outing onto the map.
Interesting aggression in the early stages from both, well, the entire top side. Bot lane wasn't really invited to any of those situations, but that's kind of fine. Maybe we'll see I'm Coin Flip and Nugget moving around. Are we likely to see the supports when we've got the Rakan especially looking to make some plays potentially towards the mid side or even in the top lane?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, especially when we have, supports that we haven't really been seeing too much of in 12-10, right? The Thresh, second game today, technically, but Rakan in particular, we really haven't seen his champions pop up too much this week. Even amongst other heroes, to be honest with you. So happy to see them, and I hope they do, at the very least, lean into that playstyle of heavy roam. They are allowed to. But for now, they have kind of been glued to their ADCs, respectively. Not trying to give the other side any opportunity to potentially dive them.
Which is always good. I mean, the opportunity to dive is massively reduced by the patch one anyway, which is always nice. But making sure that there's no openings for the opposition is going to elevate your chance of surviving throughout the laning phase. And the Dragon has been started up very quickly by Galen from Guarp and should be able to secure this one. No harm, no foul. Simple as that. The Hex tech is secured. And we're going to have an Ocean as our second Dragon.
Okay. Ocean. So hopefully means we roll lucky on the 1 out of 3 and get the Infernal.
Cloud.
We want another Cloud. I mean, actually, Cloud for this game would be kind of cool because there's an Udyr. Yeah, I'm down for it. But the issue is Udyr's only going to have 2 Cloud Dragons, probably.
Yeah, I mean, they might not be able to secure themselves a second. It depends how Parashi looks around the bot side because it's been pretty hit and miss. Yeah,
I mean, I think it has definitely been hit and miss. I will agree with your point there. I feel like we'll come to a point where, Anivia in the mid lane should be fine. I would have actually quite liked to see blue buff passed over. I think Galen is taking it for himself, which is very common these days. We don't really see second blue pass over like we used to in years gone by in League of Legends anymore. But I think blue buff would have been really influential in a matchup like this. For Anivia to be able to have permanent shove, I think is a great benefit to the Guarp draft and how they would likely want to prioritize some of the neutrals for the next couple of minutes. But saying that, Zero, Spuda have their level 6s available and those champions are online and ready to team fight. To be honest with you, I would be pretty worried about team fighting into those champions right now with Anivia and Ornn in my solo lanes, as they won't quite have that same level of skirmishing prowess as Domino have Rakan roam up with the priority that they were able to get in their solo lanes. Actually pick up this Herald. Hellman also joined Herald takedown, so see what Fred Forget can get on the bottom side of the map. Teleport comes in for Sarah actually, so we'll catch most of this wave. And it's a pretty clean Herald takedown. It's just not the orthodox style that we typically see from mostly Season 12, late Season 11.
Yeah, Zero on the bot side is the one that's covering to make sure that Fred Spaghetti doesn't regain anything off the back of that one. So the lanes have been a little bit flexible. Hellman and I'm Coin Flip have decided to move in mid, which is definitely interesting. But, I mean, hey, if you get an early drop down on the Rift Herald mid, potentially, I know the Niv is not the best one to try and charge it into, but if you can get some money onto Tristana and get the bot lane tower down, that's a double win.
Yeah, definitely agree with that point. See whether or not they can actually lean into that strength with the champion. Finaldo, kill. Herald in the back pocket of Domino. And I mean, honestly, anywhere I think is a pretty good spot to drop the Herald, right? Give it to Camille. Camille accelerates in the side lane. All of a sudden, the Ornn can't really hold that split push, and it seems like that's going to be the case. Mid lane would have been great, obviously. Anivia is one of those champions which can just stalemate a game for so long. How heavy wave clear tools on Akali on the bottom side. Could potentially get Dove. No vision to really work with. Sarah is so cautiously approaching this tower, but has all the tools available to survive a dive, and let's not forget, 12-10 towers, very powerful.
Don't worry, Hellman and I'm Conflict have completed their world tour, have found their way up into the top side, meeting up with Spooder, and we'll be able to take down the first tower of the game, and just about lose out on Rift Herald, so there's no elusive second charge there. Sidon actually going to be bundled immediately to the mid lane to try and protect that one, but it looks like Zero has been successful in guarding a lot of these tower plates. Only one going down in the end, the second one very, very close to falling. But that's a big, big gold swing going over the way of Domino, and they find themselves in the lead.
Yeah, they do indeed. The gold went on to two very important members. Camille, who isn't really going to have anybody one-to-one that's going to match her in the side lane. And of course, Tristana, hyper-scaling AD carry. Who, honestly, front to back against a team comp like this, is going to do just fine, if you ask me. Hard engage options aren't really ones that stick to Tristana particularly well. Just the rocket jump kind of early and late.
In
Too late.
trouble. Fresh. The flash, though, is pretty good. With Sidon going to come over the wall with the ultimate. The tower's being turned off, so the dive is simple. Sidon will take a couple of shots on the way out. But that's absolutely fine for him. As Domino, remember, they've already taken down first tower. And now Hellman's going to have a whole new set of plates to take down.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first one going down immediately. And I really want to see Sidon. Yes, great. Cinnamon coin flip. Just stick around, even though you don't have your ultimates anymore. Pressure Fred Spaghetti off this tower. Don't let him get to this tower to defend it with the bullet time. If you can, then that wave is going to just dissipate and you're not going to get any more plates. Instead, it seems like yeah, rotated down here. It's going to be okay with the mobility. You can see the rest of Guarp is rotating down to assist. Even Vigor Mofson has made the move over. Helmet should be fine with the rocket jump. That's a lot of pressure to go down, but now Domino, here's the key thing, have expended a lot of their tempo on the play, trying to get more than the plates they got. That should mean Guarp should secure this dragon pretty much free, as they brought down the entire team in an effort what felt like to defend the tower, but also now in the extended play pick up the second dragon of the game.
Which, as you mentioned, could well happen. It's the Inferno going to be the sole dragon for this one, so no really speedy Udyr, unfortunately, but still a reasonably speedy Udyr, and he's going to be able to set people on fire if they manage to secure themselves another couple of dragons. Spooder was given a lot of free time on the top end, so is able to catch up in farm. Has fallen a little bit behind Vigor Mopson with the likes of Tristana moving up into that lane, as Fred's to be a Nugget in the bot side, just trying to force through onto Zero. The cage is put up as Zero goes very, very low, caught in the bullet time. Nugget going for the dive. There needs to be careful. Nice flash away from Zero. And the Triumph might keep him alive. I'm confident is there just to provide a shield if needed. And yeah, the plate goes down. The teleport will come through, though. Domino will feel reasonably happy with that one.
They will. I'm not sure what the teleport comes in for, though. But hey, welcome to the party, Smoother. Has just finished up the Divine Sunderer, so actually is on a pretty strong spike right about now. And if Vigor Mopson starts to match Camille, isn't going to be able to do it particularly well. That Divine Sunderer spike is an absolutely nasty one. There's one plate, 4-4. Yeah, again, till Hellman. I'll actually count, I think, about 8 plates so far this game. One in favor of the Tristana, who will actually use the ultimate to knock away Quixie. Hellman has the Kraken Slayer, and actually taking a look at the items. Those are the two big mythics picked up. Spooder's Divine Sunderer, Kraken Slayer picked up. Guarp still searching for the gold to pick up their first, as actually Domino are searching for a dive on the bottom side.
Yeah, and they've got the volley best. They're going to be able to turn off that tower. Nice charm and knock up onto Fred Spaghetti, who needs to be a little bit careful. It's going to be taken very, very low. The ultimatum is used as Spooder has to flash away, but will be knocked up on the tower. Takes one more shot, but it's still alive. Coin flip pretty healthy, but no one else is, as Spooder manages to grab the cable shot out. You can see Galen running towards the tower, potentially looking for something. Won't be able to find it, though. It's just going to be the one pickup and the lead from Domino.
Lead from Domino. Continuing to find these picks on the bottom side of the map. Dragons still in Guarp's favor, though, so they are going to be playing with that in the next couple of minutes. But again, we have to continue to track how the item department is going, because those are going to be the key things to really look out for. And of course, I mean, realistically, you look at this Domino lineup, they're going to be fine to team fight. Not only because they're ahead in goal, but champion to champion, unless Guarp find a really, really ideal team fight scenario where, you know, Domino turn off their monitors and all charge into a choke against the Nivea and the Ornn. It's going to be really difficult, I think, to team fight. Fred Spaghetti as well maybe pulls off a really massive bullet time. I have to see. 2 minutes until that. Herald is also up, and that's an option which I expect Domino will charge towards.
I mean, the Infernal Dragon coming up doesn't necessarily help Guarp because the choke points are a little bit wider. It's a little bit harder to catch people in those funnels that, as you said, if you walk through a choke point as Domino, you die with the Guarp team composition. Unfortunately, it looks like Domino have been a little bit too smart so far, going about their business, have not yet been taken down, have themselves a nice little gold lead, but Quixie on the bot side should be able to secure the first tower for his team down in the bot outer, as I'm confident moving towards the top lane just to assist his top laner, or his mid laner, sorry, Zero on the Akali, of course. Second Rift Tower will be secured by Domino, uncontested, you've got to imagine, as no one's moving towards it, particularly from Guarp. I think they know it's happening, but will not be too concerned. There's a nice catch from Nugget. They might have counted out Spooder, who's looking for a way out. Nice dive through from Rakan, but there's the bullet time. Spooder trying to get away with the ultimatum. He survives for a second longer, gets the heal, or will be called out. It's a shutdown from Misfortune, but Fred will pay for it with his live Galen. Cuts down another flying Rakan, but is now in full retreat. The ultimate comes through from Sidon, but I don't know if it'll be enough. He's stunned up. He's going to dive forward. Zero looking for one more, but it's going to be the shot from Hellman. That secures the kill. Nugget now in retreat as Vigo mops him there in support. The slowdown might be enough, as Zero not confident in going towards the turrets, as we get a little pause. Hopefully nothing major from these two teams, but from what it looks like, it was a decent initial idea from Guarp, but Domino managed to turn it around pretty well.
Yeah, Domino turn it around. It's still a 2 for 2 at the end of the day, surprisingly. The crucial thing is Guarp no longer have Galen for the next 26 seconds. It should be okay because you can see top left hand side of the screen. The Dragon reset timer is 3 seconds away. Spawn timer, rather. So I expect both teams will be able to make it back out onto the Rift in time to try and contest this one at even footing. But the issue is Domino, they expended all of their ultimates, and realistically 40 seconds isn't enough for all of those to come back up. Vigor Mobson still has his. That's the key thing to look at now. How well can he aim that Horn, because it's the only big ultimate left up and available. Bullet time and the box both down from the Guarp bottom laners too.
So Dragon up in 20, this will be the next fight. And the Guarp would set themselves up for Infernal Soul if they get a positive outcome from this. It's been mixed throughout the day in terms of third Dragon fights on if it's been the team with the 2 or if it's been the team with the none who have been able to secure it. Domino feeling a little bit stronger when it comes to the ability of their champions right now. Sidon are actually going to drop the Rift Herald into the mid lane to give themselves a little bit of additional pressure and maybe drag someone away or get the tower low, but it looks like Guarp just want to play around this Infernal Dragon. All 5 members are hanging around, but Domino standing between them and the mid lane, also contesting the Dragon. You see, I'm confident looking potentially for a flank, but might be caught out, looking towards the back line, will be spotted out on Vision, jumps on in with the ultimate, and the fight kicks off in earnest, but I'm confident is immediately dead. Spooder on the side as well will give up his life. Zero diving on through, trying to keep them low. The Dragon is secured by Domino, but they've already lost 2 members. Can they take down anyone for their trouble? Nugget goes low, but Zero doesn't have the energy, doesn't have the cooldowns to dive from through. It will go back again and picks up one before going down himself. It's a 3-for-1, and the Anivia is also popped into egg but does not die. Domino secured themselves the objective, but the cost is pretty steep.
Cost is steep, but I mean, not having to worry about that Infernal Soul coming through on the next Dragon, I think such a big deal for them. Yes, the gold lead is now kind of closed even more. They're only 1,000 gold up now, but again, take a look at those solo laners. They are so strong. Divine Tundra and the Maw of Malmortius being built towards Zero. I imagine Zonya's second, or what's he doing now? He's swapped out for Blasting Wand and what are those components? Cosmic Overdrive, maybe? Unsure. I have to see. White Staff, potentially. But either way, solo laners are incredibly strong and they'll continue to dive forward. I think Domino made, you know, a bit of a split call to maybe dive forward, but then realized between Sidon and Hellman that they wouldn't be able to catch up, so stuck towards the Dragon, denying the objective. Winning or losing the fight was definitely the key thing there, because coming out of the back of it, they would always be ahead. Even though the call was a bit split, this is one of the few times where a split call, I think, results in not a terrible scenario for them. Just that Guarp now have the Anivia and the Misfortune that's continuing to scale up into this game, and their team fighting will get better, but again, it's about how Domino can continue to split up the fight and have these diving assassins actually assassinate their targets.
And with the patch, it's a little bit harder for the diving assassins to get rid of the targets that they're going towards. because there's a little bit more safety. Of course, when you're diving towards a Misfortune, she's going to be standing there, but when the exhaust comes back up, she's got a little bit of safety. Of course, the Fresh is there with the lantern, with the flame, with the box. And it's going to be very, very interesting. Keep your eyes on people like Zero. Spooder as well, exceptionally strong on the Camille, but does get caught out and taken down if he's CC'd for a few seconds in any given fight. We've got Dragon up. We've got Baron up, sorry, in 30 seconds. We've got Dragon up in 2.5 minutes. Of course, it's not going to be Soul Point because of the Domino play around the last Dragon. As always with the Baron, are we expecting to see either team in a position to get it down really quickly? I know Anivia does quite a lot of damage to it.
Yeah, Nivea does, but doesn't actually have the Leandries, has the Everfrost. Definitely understand that short range composition diving into it is going to hamper her damage on the objective. Misfortune, not really the quickest Baron taker either. I think on the opposite side though, if Camille, Tristana with a Kraken Slayer get on top of it, then yeah, it can definitely burst down quite quick. We'll see, it's about having the time to do it. I think right now the bigger focus definitely towards those dragons. Domino trying to bait in Guarp for another fight. So if I'm Guarp, honestly, I would give over this next dragon. Try and trade it for a priority around the Baron on the top side. You can get control of that side of the map for 5 minutes whilst Domino decide to go for this dragon. I feel like you can really set yourself up well, because again, Guarp's composition, in my mind, really thrives when the enemy team are trying to come into them. But if you can control, you know, this top side of the map, try and turn these entrances into the river, into the jungle, into choke points that Domino have to come through, have to walk through the Innovate, have to walk through the Make It Rain and Bullet Time, then you can really start to see Domino potentially start to struggle in these team fights.
So we'll have to watch and keep an eye on how Domino want to play, where they want to take these engagements. If it's going to be Dragon, if they're going to want to try and grab themselves a catch away from an objective where Guarp are maybe a little bit less set up. Because we talked about this a lot last season, we've done so a little bit less today, about how teams want to be fighting team fights in the mid and later stages, and what the optimal position is. And we mentioned it in this game, obviously. Guarp have made it very obvious. It's all about choke points. It's all about being set up somewhere and then using their huge abilities when the enemies are funneled into the Anivia, the Misfortune, sorry, the Ornn as well for that CC. How are Domino... Are Domino able to win if they've got Guarp set up somewhere? And how are they going to prevent that from happening?
I mean, they just have to play a little bit of a wide map state, right? If they recognize that maybe Guarp aren't going to contest this, just ensure that beforehand they have a lot of vision up in the top side, and that's exactly what they've done. Deep into that blue side jungle, the vision might dissipate, but I'm pretty sure those are pretty fresh wards, so Domino doing exactly that. They have Sarah up in the top side with teleport. No one's even there to match him right now. Guarp are fully focused on this dragon. Hell, even if they do get set up in this situation, I think they should be alright. It seems like Guarp are kind of moving in closer towards the dragon, not controlling the chokes themselves. They want to burst down the dragon quickly. I mean, to be fair, Domino, they're not buying into this at all. I'm pretty sure that top lane tower was a teleport as well, so they're trying to just double down, push in. How quick will they get this tower down, though? That's the real question. Galen rotate back towards the mid lane, but it's being guarded, shielded well by Sidon. So that's going to be 2 towers in trade at the very least. Even though Domino don't get their hands on the dragon, they trade it for 2 towers. One of them's an inner, fair amount of gold. They're also going to be able to retreat back towards the Baron. If they want to start up, I think it'll be risky. I know Sarah hasn't based in a very long time, so likely just going to see a reset of members that haven't spent their gold for a couple of minutes. Yeah,
2 in the towers, 1 in top, 1 in mid. Certainly a nice amount of gold and territory being secured. But it does set up for Guarp on the other hand. Soul Point, Infernal Soul Point in 4 minutes time. So finding themselves the opportunity, maybe considering that a win condition. Is Infernal Dragon a win condition for this composition, do you think?
For Guarp, yeah, I think it would really enable them to have just a little bit of extra damage to stand up to Domino's dive. I mean, realistically, Domino have more carries than Guarp that do scale very, very well into this game. Guarp lose MF, that's, you know, you want to kind of treat it maybe as like half their damage. Domino lose Tristana, then realistically it's only really a third if you want to be, you know, super layman's terms about it, but giving those 2 carries in particular more damage, giving the tanks a little bit more base damage as well, really go the distance in ensuring that they can, you know, return the amount of damage that is being dished out by 3 very, very strong carries.
Absolutely, and as we're in a bit of a lull as both of these teams hit one of these It's a bit feast or famine in this meta right now. We're in a famine period with both of these teams not necessarily wanting to do anything too crazy and just allowing for the next flashpoint to open up, which could be the Baron, could be the Dragon of 3 minutes. We get to play. What's the ornament called? Giovanna, there are 2 ornaments on the map. What are they called?
Wormfallen Sacrifice.
Yep.
And it was something forged fist nonsense. It was a weird.
Not even close. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, no. It started with an R. I remember.
It did start with an R, yes, and it still does actually.
Yeah, true. Some like Rye-forged, I think.
Close.
Rye-forged fist or something like that. I can't remember that. Wormfallen Sacrifice is always the easy one to remember.
It's a rhyme-forged grasp.
Right.
Is what it is. I'm interested to see what if you get the other ones, because I haven't actually said the other ones today. So you're going to have to hope that this game ends pretty sharpish as we see the engage coming through. Domino might want to try and save your blushes as Galen stepping forward now takes a bit of a beating. Teleport coming on through as well. But remember, this is all in the jungle. There are places where the fight can take place. Though the Call of Forge is there. There are the ultimates being thrown out. Equipment manages to get himself away. Helm picks up the first kill of the fight, taking down the Anivia and is looking towards the Ord, turning his attention towards the tank. In the meanwhile, Zero goes low. Needs to be careful. Vigo actually managed to get the kill onto Rakan, but shouldn't be able to escape. The rest of them, Galen survives a second longer, but Spooner catches him in an ultimatum and will get the kill before falling. Zero has to flash away as Sidon and Hellman make their escape. It's a 3 for 2. It is Domino favored, but they won't be able to get very much off it.
Yeah, no, they won't indeed. They lose 2 members. Health bars aren't really the best, so likelihood of them being able to pick up this Baron very low. Likely just spending resets here. Any gold actually. They even have it. Resets were quite close before the teamfight broke out. And that double up very well could have clipped Zero as he blinked out of stealth. And this I was talking about. Guarp, Fred Spaghetti, Quixie on the Anivia, on the Misfortune. Those ultimates so powerful when it comes to choke control. Vigo as well. Vigo Mopsum with that ultimate. Kind of layered a couple of people down. Saw how much damage ended up being thrown out. Oh no, who's...
What's it called?
I remember this one because it's actually stupid.
Okay.
It's turbocharged experiment or hexperiment.
I saved it. Yeah, it is turbocharged experiment. For those of you who have seen the Netflix original series Arcane, you know.
That's why. It's a silly one. It's a silly one for sure, but that is what it is called. You're welcome for the educational bit. As Domino are eyeing up a flank here. Look at coin flip.
He's thinking about it. Has been the one that's been getting the fights going and actually going to be caught out this time by another. Going to be caught in the mix, but doesn't have the ultimate available. Actually diving away as the fight kicks off in earnest. Coin flip thinking about going back in, but it's Fred Spaghetti who gets taken down. Vigo standing strong. Hellman goes golden in the backline, but will not survive when he gets out of it. Flashes away, but he can't do anything more as Spooner dives on through. Quixie goes very, very low, but is able to stand at the back pretty safely. They manage to catch Spooner with the dev sentence, but Galen's the one that's going to be sentenced to death here, but he manages to get the Lantern away. Domino dogpiling onto him, but could not secure the kill. They're picking towards the dragon and they want to deny Soul, and I think Domino will be able to do so.
Galen zoomed in, clicked on the land and got himself out. Isn't going to be able to get towards the bottom side of the map here to contest the dragon though, and Spuda will take this one down, get their second Infernal Dragon of the game, deny away that Soul. Nugget is here, poking and prodding. Death sentence. There is no smite.
It's just by coin flip though, in a very apt naming situation. Sidon trying to get away, but is caught by the frost. And Quixie secures the kill.
Quixie does pick that one up and loads of pings onto the Baron. I mean, Baron, you just killed the enemy jungler. Vigor Mobson has teleport to come back out onto the map and tank this. Quixie has a near full mana bar. And Fred Spaghetti is here with Kraken Slayer upgraded. Almost the makings of an Infinity Edge. This is a fast Baron.
Members are teleporting through. You can see Spooner on the top side. Other members are going to be running through the jungle, but the Baron's already below half health. They've got a little bit of vision on it, but it will be immediately removed. I don't know if Domino are going to be able to do a thing about this one. It's secured by Guarp as they move back towards the jungle. It's Baron on 5 as they will make the retreat.
Guarp, just good pick off that dragon takedown into the Baron. Smart stuff. Domino not able to do anything about it. No response. Sidon just getting picked off. All they needed to secure the big purple worm. And honestly, these fights continue to skew towards Guarp's favor in general. Domino, even in that mid lane fight, yes, we're able to win out, but imagine, let's forget, an Infinity Edge in his back pocket, armor penetration perhaps, for the front line as they dive forward. It's going to be very, very scary. And actually, Hellman, curiously enough, Blade of the Ruined King, a third item. Definitely understand the thought process, but you'd love to know the maths behind it. It's one of those purchases. Delaying the Infinity Edge, definitely a big deal. As
Engage coming on through from Ricard. I'm Coinflip once again being the one to pull the trigger. Spooner moving forward, trying to get involved as well, but they haven't managed to catch anyone out so far. It looks like they might get the knock up, not onto Galen, though he's too quick on his feet. Maybe looking to try and get an engage himself, but there's a little bit too much disengage from Domino, and Galen's going to be forced to back away. Things are looking pretty nice for Guarp with this ban as they managed to push forward, but Anivia has just picked up an ornament. What's it called?
Eternal Window.
Oh, I knew it. This game is becoming less and less fun.
That one is from, that's from TFT. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how the solution is never just, I know the names of the items. There's always has to be like a logic behind it.
There's a story behind everything, I know.
That's your job, because you're out in Berlin right now. You're living the high life, and you got a couple of days until your next cast.
Yeah.
You got a bit of homework. You can go and learn all the ornaments and come back and let me know what they're called.
I think of all the things I need to do when it pertains to League of Legends, learning the ornaments is kind of low on the priority list.
I mean, how often do you get called out on the other stuff though?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I normally say correct things, so
Yeah, this is true.
Not many people are like, "Yo, that Jamada guy is like stinky. He doesn't know anything." Like, that being said, I don't really have many bold takes because most of my takes are just based, so they're not bold. They're just correct.
Yeah.
And that's totally how this entire job works.
You're just describing the job description of an analyst. You're just like, yeah, most of the stuff I say is right, which is good because that's your job. See, I'm the one who's allowed to say stuff that's wrong, because then you're here to correct me. You're literally just my fact checker when you think about it.
I am effectively just your fact checker on this broadcast.
Yeah.
We let you say silly things, and I'm here to correct them.
I don't say that many silly things.
You do.
Yeah, I do.
You do. You do.
I mean, I think plays generally say quite silly things, though. Especially when you look at the NLC talent. Initialize maybe a little bit less so than the others.
Yeah, see,
like,
Initialize...
Hit Braid and Archer all say very stupid things quite regularly.
You know what? Archer's smart. Archer's got it.
He's a Pantheon player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Viper, what do you play again? Remind me?
I'm a Sejuani player. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
actually, I've been playing Zac recently.
I can't hear you. 40 seconds till the Dragons.
Zero's a little bit of trouble, you know. I don't know why you're trying to talk. This is going to be a team fight. This is my job. Ah, Jamada. It was going so well for 4.5 games. But it's fine. It's your turn.
The late night's kicking in. And what, you can ask me to play by play? I'll do it. Don't tempt me. I mean, honestly, Domino have pretty decent positioning here. They're forcing Guarp to move in. I think that's the important thing. Guarp really prefer being at the river first. They've been in the river first so many team fights. And this is probably the one time it's not going to be the case. Sarah caught by that glacial storm just a bit. But look at Spooder on the side looking for the flank. He's so dangerous. Sarah as well. Small pocket of fog. It's looking spicy, Guarp.
Yeah, they're looking for something, but Zero's moved away a second longer. Spooder now on the side, but Nugget is there just to keep him away. Sidon's going to be rooted up, caught up by the CZ. He's tanky, but can he stay alive? Members are now diving forward. He's ulted into the mix, and he's so low, but is still alive. He's going to be chased away by Quixie, but now the Dragon's getting involved. Zero might be able to get the kill onto the Fresh. Won't be able to, but Hellman is there. Needs one more. It's Spooder who secures the kill in the end, though, as Hellman's going to dive back forward. Gets onto the Nivea. Will be able to secure the kill. Needs to be a little bit careful, but the teleport is coming through as Camille makes his way out. That is it. It's Domino who take the fight. They take themselves a third dragon, but they're going to be able to crash open the base.
They should even maybe be able to open the game up and finish it. I mean, 25 seconds maybe isn't the longest amount of time. They're quite far out, tier 2. I think if they really send it, maybe a bullet time could save it. but 20 plus seconds on everybody else, 25 plus seconds on everybody else. Bottom lane also coming in. I think Domino might get a little bit greedy. We'll see. As they crash this wave, inhibitor's gonna fall. How brave will they be feeling? The answer is not very. He will return back to base. Third Infernal Dragon for Domino. And again, we spoke about how, you know, pure front to backs, Guarp are going to have a pretty fun time, but Domino time and time again continue to split up the fight, continue to have Spuda, you know, find these flank angles or just come at Guarp from different angles, and that's all it seems to take right now. Guarp cannot hold on to things. The fight gets too messy. Domino are picking apart the members of Guarp one by one, isolated 1v1s and 2v2s, 2v1s.
Baron's on the map again. This could be a very exciting team fight. Guarp are retaining their position, and I guess it's very interesting how messy that fight needed to be for Domino to win it, is what fascinates me, because you'd think that Guarp would be favored with all of the team fight tools they had, but they were just mixed up and taken out. Zero now on the side onto Vigo. As we see, I'm confident trying to dive on through, but doesn't manage to catch anyone. The box is up for a disengage as the Call of the Force God will only land onto one. Spooder's on the side, but is going to be kept away by Fred Spaghetti and the Make It Rain as Guarp still holding on to this mid lane, but Domino moving towards the Baron. I'm not sure, and neither are they, because they're going to be stepping away from this one as members of Guarp move into the bot side river. But actually, they're going to turn and start this one up once again. Zero's got the intel, he's got the information, but Guarp are going to be running directly towards it. Galen's on the side. The Baron is gone. It's already secured by Domino, but they're going to lose out Zero, who's going to have to go golden. Damage coming on through as Spooder dives on forward. The bullet time does a decent amount of damage to Camille, but no one else. As Zero on the side looking to dip and dive. Galen goes forward. Is pretty tanky, but explodes, and Camille cuts him down as members of Domino are looking to fight forward, but they've lost Hellman, which is huge. Guarp are low, but there's no finisher. There's no Tristana, so it's going to be a slow slog forward. But it's going to be Spooder who dives on through. Teleport from Zero coming into the bot side to bring in those super minions with the Baron empowerment. As Domino look to roam forward. They managed to get the damage down, but I'm confident Goes Low will be secured by the Fresh, but they will lose all in the end. Spooder goes low out by the Death Sentence, as it's going to be Nugget, the King, trying to defend, but Zero's on the bot side. Sidon joins him. They've got a minion wave. The Death Sentence lands, but can the Fresh save the game? 15 seconds on the Udyr. Zero jumping back and forth. The Fresh is trying to survive, but he goes down. The Ace goes to Sidon. He takes down the tower, and just like that, Domino secure themselves the win.
It's a messy one, but it's a win nonetheless for Domino. They will not go 0-2. Guarp, you have to feel a little bit bad for them in this one. I feel like they really did have it, you know, in their hands for a fair amount of time. They just had to do their best to try and pigeonhole Domino into these, you know, straightforward front-to-back fights. But again, Domino, I think, just recognized this condition and were consistently finding multiple angles onto the backline. And again, I'm going to just say it. You had to deal with 3 carries, and unfortunately, Anivia and Misfortune just weren't enough to deal with that much dive threat on the backline. And Galen on the Udyr wasn't really able to provide enough peel either. Neither was the Thresh. The Ornn was kind of just there, to be honest with you, for a majority of the game, unfortunately. And Domino's very high mobility composition, able to take down these very immobile threats that didn't really have any true means of consistently pinning these targets down in a meaningful way, which would win them team fights post 30 minutes.
That's the final game of the day, but we've got a post show to attend to, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.